am now a female for the next 2 hours. You are now a female for the next 2 hours. I now have a cute feminine face for the next 2 hours. You now have a cute feminine face for the next 2 hours. I now have a cute feminine voice for the next 2 hours. You now have a cute feminine voice for the next 2 hours. I now have a cute feminine moan for 2 hours. You now have a cute feminine moan for 2 hours. I now have my desired colored irises for the next 2 hours. You now have your desired colored irises for the next 2 hours. I now have my desired feminine hair for 2 hours. You now have your desired feminine hair for 2 hours. I now have E-cup breasts for 2 hours. You now have E-cup breasts for 2 hours. My breasts are so sensitive and squishy. Your breasts are so sensitive and squishy. When my feminine nipples rub up against anything, it makes me moan in pleasure and ecstasy. I now have a slim feminine waist for 2 hours. You now have a slim feminine waist for 2 hours. I now have slim feminine arms and shoulders for 2 hours. You now have slim feminine arms and shoulders for 2 hours. I have a vagina for 2 hours. You have a vagina for 2 hours. I am immune to fearing the loss of my penis. You are immune to fearing the loss of your penis. The formation of the vagina is pleasurable. The formation of the vagina is painless. I have ovaries for 2 hours. You have ovaries for 2 hours. I now have white feminine hips for 2 hours. You now have white feminine hips for 2 hours. I now have a thick feminine bubble butt for 2 hours. You now have a thick feminine bubble butt for 2 hours. I now have thick feminine hips for 2 hours. You now have thick feminine hips for 2 hours. I now have strong feminine legs for 2 hours. You now have strong feminine legs for 2 hours. I can return to this form whenever I want. You can return to this form whenever you want. My skin is so sensitive in this form. Your skin is so sensitive in this form. It's so easy to become horny in this form. When in this form I am sensitive. When in this form you are lewd. When in this form I am horny. In this form I have a cute blush over my breasts, butt, shoulders, and thighs. In this form I always manage to find myself in lewd situations. If I desire, I am immune to getting into lewd situations with my family. Being in this form eradicates unnecessary fat from all my desired forms. Being in this form eradicates unnecessary fat from all my desired forms. Everyone remembers me this way. Everyone remembers you this way. If I desire, I now have my desired female clothes. If you desire, you now have your desired female clothes. I can't resist my results. You can't resist your results. You can't resist your transformation. I can't resist my transformation. My mind is accepting my results. Your mind is accepting your results. Everyone accepts my results. Everyone accepts your results. My transformation feels so good. Your transformation feels so good. After 2 hours, I return back to normal if I want to. After 2 hours, you return back to normal if I want to. My results have already appeared. Your results are already here. I believe in the subliminal. You believe in the subliminal. I am immune to stopping use of the subliminal until I have my results. The subliminal is hypnotic to you. Stop resisting. Accept results. The subliminal works quickly and painlessly. Let results flow. Letting results flow is easy to me. It is harder to resist and accept results. I can only think of my results coming to me. I must fully believe in the subliminal. My results are here. Your results are here.